Actually, yeah, that's much better. Yeah. Oh, I love your outfit.
Oh, thank you.
Ooh. So I was supposed to interview you 2 days ago, but something happened. Explain.
Oh, I'm actually staying at my sister's house right now in LA, and LA is having quite the homeless crisis,
Yeah.
which is really sad. Like, I think that right now it's the worst homeless crisis
Yeah.
since like 1984 or something.
Yeah.
And so we have a lot of homeless people coming onto the property. Unfortunately, their shoes right there.
Hi,
And
sister. How are you?
so we've been dealing with a lot of people trespassing onto the property. There's been like a lot of drug usage in the area. So I've actually had to call the cops every single day for the last 4 days.
That's
Just
terrible.
been
That's
bad.
really terrible. Well, I know I read some of your bio, and you were born and raised in California, correct?
Uh-huh.
Okay, which part of in California? Are you Southern LA, Southern California?
Sacramento, actually.
Sacramento.
Yes, Northern
Oh,
California. Mhm.
cool, because I came from California.
Oh, where?
Yeah, I lived in San Francisco, the Bay Area.
Whoa, my mom was, no, she was actually born in New Orleans, but my mom lived in South City, and my grandma immigrated here from London, or not from London, from Liverpool, England, and lived in San Francisco for years.
Oh, okay. So wonderful. So do you have dual citizenship? Are you British and American?
No, and
No.
actually, funnily enough, she doesn't either. So when she came here, she immigrated here. She said, "No, I want to be a full
American.
citizen." And so, yeah, she forego her English citizenship.
Oh, wonderful. So what happened to that homeless guy on the yard? The police
Um,
arrived,
the
right?
police came and they said, we'll let him go, but there's really there's not a lot that you can do. Like, if they come on the property multiple times, they can be arrested for trespassing,
Right.
but then they just get a ticket and they get let out.
Oh,
But the cops came by, talked to him, and just said, "Hey, you got to go." And he left. And actually, he didn't come back yesterday or today. So fingers
maybe
crossed. We'll be okay.
maybe you scared him.
I mean, I feel bad because it's like, where is he gonna go? Like, I get it. It makes me sad, but like, I literally looked outside my window and was like, oh, there's a man outside.
Yeah. But I know in Los Angeles there are, I mean, depending what neighborhood you live, there are many tent cities that are being built literally on the sidewalk.
It's
Yeah.
unfathomable.
Yeah.
Like, unreal. Yeah, so many.
It's not the last time I was in Los Angeles, what, oh my God, like was it 10, 15 years ago? And if I were to return today, I probably would not recognize it at all. And I would
Yeah,
feel totally, totally unsafe, you know.
yeah.
So, well, but I hope, after the elections, everything will change for the best. Let's hope.
I hope
Now,
so. Yeah.
well, I know Miss USA will be in Memphis, Tennessee, November 9th. I'm in the process of making my top 15 list of favorites.
Uh-huh.
So I spent some time cruising the Miss USA website,
Uh-huh.
reading all the bios of all 51 contestants and whatnot. And then when I saw your bio, I said to myself, oh my God, I need to interview this girl because I'm vegan. She's vegan.
Oh,
Yeah, I've been vegan for 20 years, 20 years.
whoa. And you, wait,
Yeah.
but you still haven't died of protein deficiency? Because I just,
Hell to the no. Hell to the no.
your brain isn't deteriorating from the lack of B12. I don't get it.
Hell to the no, girl. No, 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 no. So anyway, when I saw your bio, I said, I need to interview this girl. You know
Oh,
what? Because my website, Critical Beauty, is actually the only pageant website that aggressively promotes animal rights and veganism.
oh,
Yeah.
I just got chills.
Thank you. Yeah, so I've awarded like the Critical Beauty Awards for contestants in the past that were active promoting animal rights. I mean, they're not necessarily vegans or vegetarians, but at least they're doing something to fight
Uh-huh.
animal welfare. I mean, to fight for animal welfare and animal rights. So when I saw your bio, oh my God, I need to interview her. Now, I read all the nasty comments posted by your haters on your Instagram account. I read a few articles, newspaper articles in Montana about you, the hatred, all this rabid hatred towards Miss Montana USA. Oh my God, like poor girl, I totally sympathize with you because I've been there, done that. So,
Yeah, it's It's really unreal the way that people attack you because you don't want animals to die.
But they don't understand that. And Montana being what the largest beef producing state in the country, I
Yeah.
mean, you sort of like understand where they're coming from, the beef industry. So anyway, I was did the beef industry company, they sent you a letter, like an open letter? And
Yeah.
yeah, did
Yeah,
they
the
invite
Montana's
you? They invited you to come to their company to visit. Did you do that?
well, that's not exactly the way that it actually happened. That's what they expressed in the public eye,
Okay.
but that's actually not entirely what happened. So the Montana stock growers did write me a letter.
Okay.
And the thing with that was that nobody had asked me my point of view before they had started attacking me. What happened was I had shared my top 10 ways of minimizing your environmental footprint or your carbon footprint. And I put adopt a plant-based diet as number one. And then on my Instagram story, I had added some information, some scientific studies about how animal agriculture is so detrimental to the environment.
Mhm.
I never singled out Montana. I never singled out ranchers. I didn't say, people who eat meat are bad. I gave scientific facts. And then they turn around and wrote me this big thing about, the heritage of Montana. And I get that. I understand all of it. I still don't agree with it. So then I had quite a few conversations with people and they had invited me out. We actually had a date set. And then they sent over a contract that my director and I did not agree with.
Why not?
Yeah. It had some stipulations about what I was and wasn't allowed to talk about.
Okay.
And they essentially wanted to control the narrative.
Mm.
And my director said to me, I just don't think it's a good idea. I think we should walk away from the situation, say thank you so much, but it's not right for us.
Okay.
So that's what we did. And that caused quite the stir. And and they also, after we had said that we weren't comfortable with the contract, they said, yeah, we're not comfortable either. So let's just part ways.
Right.
So we parted ways. And then a couple months later, I had talked to another rancher who had invited only me to come out to his ranch. And he is a fourth generation rancher. I went out, saw him, met him, spent the day with him, and learned about his life for a little bit. But we kept it very under wraps. Like even to this day, people are like, you never did that ranch visit. I was like, I did. I just didn't like Instagram live the whole time.
Right. Right. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So what did you discover in his farm? Are the animals treated nicely?
Yeah. So it's never been an issue of the animals being treated poorly where they're raised.
Mhm.
It's all how they're slaughtered.
Right.
At least for me. So this wasn't a factory farm. Cattle usually aren't raised in factory farm situations. They're slaughtered in factory farm situations.
Mhm.
And so especially Montana doesn't even have any factory farms, I don't believe. We don't even have slaughterhouses in Montana.
Oh, okay.
So it's an export. So all the cattle are exported from Montana. And so they are in wide open, beautiful fields. And this is where I think the disconnect happens, is that people in Montana who are in the agriculture community see the open spaces there, they see the beautiful land, they see that the animals are free to roam,
Mhm.
and they think, well, animal ag can't be bad. The air is beautiful there, everything's amazing there. Like it's so clean, it's so beautiful. And so they're thinking, how can animal agriculture be bad?
Yeah.
Well, it's not there that it's bad. It's when they travel, 3 days across the state and they don't have food, they don't have water, they don't have space to lay down. They then go into the slaughterhouse and they're slaughtered. So it's that part that is what I disagree with.
So the last 3 days of the live export of these animals, I mean, these poor creatures actually are already suffering those 3 days of travel. I mean,
Exactly.
hardly any water, hardly no rest and whatnot. Yeah, I'm also really vehemently against that, especially if it involves exporting live animals to Australia, like in big and shiploads of cattle and sheep and whatnot. I've heard so many horror stories about animals like dying during the journey. It's just horrible. Now, you've heard of the expression cognitive dissidence.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing as a vegan, I find it very amusing when people say, "Oh, I love animals. I love my dogs. I love my cats, but I can't let go of eating meat." I
Mhm.
say, how can you love animals, but yet you eat chicken and pig and cow and stuff. What do you tell these people? I mean, how do you deal with these folks?
As a society, we've been trained to love pets and to love exotic animals. So if you ask people if they're upset over, what was his name, Cecil the lion,
Yeah, yeah,
however many
yeah,
years
yeah.
ago, people were enraged about that. And rightly so, people were enraged. But we're taught to love household pets, domesticated pets, and then exotic animals, but nothing in between.
Right.
And so usually I ask people when they say, "Oh, I love animals so much," I'll say, "Well, in my opinion, you don't love animals. You love pets. You love your cat and your dog. You can't, in my opinion, love animals and eat them." And that's a really hard pill for a lot of people to swallow. And that really starts,
Yeah.
people get upset about it, but it's the truth.
Well, yeah, it's also a matter of cultural conditioning because I know in some cultures, they don't eat chickens, but they eat dogs. In some
Yes.
cultures, they don't eat dogs, but they eat monkeys. So how do you justify, or I mean, I can't even make a universal judgment because just because I want to respect other cultures. But then again, the more I study, the more I become a vegan, the more I realize all these things, all the relationship of animals, with humans, the more I realize, what? Animals have the right to live. Okay, who gave us humans the right to to say that a pig is not as smart as a tiger, or a tiger is not as smarter than a lion, so forth and so on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there you all, speciesism, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah.
Humans are species by nature,
Yeah.
you know.
It's the first thing that we're taught. It's the first condition that we're taught.
Mhm. So you became vegan, how old? How long ago?
When I fully became vegan, I believe was 2014.
Okay.
And I was vegetarian on and off in high school for a while. And that was only because I had no idea what the dairy industry was like. I'd never understood it. I just knew, slaughterhouses and meat. And then when I eventually learned what dairy was like, I despise the dairy industry more than I despise the meat industry. Like if it came down to life and death, like I would rather eat meat than dairy any day.
Yeah. Well, because the dairy industry involves a lot of crimes like rape,
Mhm.
involve forced insemination and whatnot, and then kidnapping. They kidnap the poor baby cow from its mother and whatnot, and then if what happens to baby calves, they turn into veal and whatnot. So this whole dairy industry that also I think should be reformed if you want to reform you know the whole industry. So do you think though that is it possible for every human on earth to become vegan?
In the way that society is now globally, no. There's a lot of people who don't have access to whole food, plant-based diet foods. Um, I think in the United States, the majority of people can do it. When you start getting into developing nations or countries where people rely on, they live by the water and they rely on fishing to survive, that's a completely different
Right.
situation. So every single person, no, unfortunately, the way that the world works, I don't think so. But I do think that the majority of people in Western civilization are able to.
Because we have options already available. Yeah, it's funny because like 4 years ago, I went to the Faroe Islands. I judged the Miss Faroe Islands 2017 beauty pageant, and then I was very hesitant because as a vegan, do they even have plants and vegetables in the Faroe Islands? Because it's off the coast of Iceland, and the Faroe Islands is a territory of Denmark. So
Okay.
I've seen pictures of sheep. I mean, there are more sheep in the Faroe Islands than there are humans. So sheep outnumber humans
Whoa.
by 25,000. So it's like, oh my god. But you know what? I was so surprised when I got there. They have vegan options in
Oh,
restaurants.
good.
Yeah, in restaurants and in supermarkets. So yeah, you're right. I mean, vegan options are available in westernized societies, but not necessarily in developing countries.
Mhm.
Also, the fact that because of technology and because of the internet, it's so much easier to educate people no matter where you live.
Yeah.
It's always a question of, okay, you know what? I'm vegan, and if you have an open mind, I'd be more than happy to share my vegan conversion with you, etc. And there are many ways. Now, one thing that really, really bothers me about radical vegans is that they think they're superior or they're morally superior to non-vegans. I've I've literally butt heads with other vegans regarding the question of morality. So,
Uh-huh.
do you ever feel like that sometimes? That you feel like, okay, well, you know what? I'm vegan. I know I'm better than you because I'm superior than you because my diet is so much better than you, etc. Do you ever feel like, like
Not really. Everybody moves at their own time,
okay,
and people realize things in different ways and at different times. And okay, don't get me wrong, if I go to a climate change event and they're serving meat, yes, I do a big hypocrisy eye roll, and I'm like, you can't be a meat eating environmentalist.
yeah,
Definitely. I think when people talk about the environment and then animal agriculture is not in the conversation, yes, I get a giant eye roll. um, I think as far as like sitting down at a table with people, people usually ask me, like I will order something vegan, or one of my friends will say, oh, she's vegan, and people will be interested as to why, and then we'll start having conversations. And the majority of time people are really understanding. A lot of people agree, like even people who will order prime rib right in front of me, they'll say, yeah, you're right.
but
But then they'll,
do they like apologize? Sometimes I've gone out with non-vegan friends in the restaurant. They said, "Oh, sorry, Rafa. I didn't mean to order. I know it's going to be uncomfortable with you, but you know what? I just sort of like okay, in one ear and out the other. I just focus on my tofu burger. Eat along. You can do whatever you want. It's your body."
I say, I have friends apologize to me all the time. Yeah, they'll order something, I'll be like, sorry, Merissa. And I'll say, don't say sorry to me, say sorry to whatever animal it is that they're eating. I'm like, say sorry to the cow,
Yeah.
say sorry to the planet. And then they're like,
Well, it's funny too because sometimes when non-vegan friends like invite me over to their house, like for Thanksgiving and whatnot, and they would say, "Oh my God, Rafa's coming! I better think of something vegan to prepare for him, otherwise he's going to kill me." Honey, don't think like that. I'd be more than happy to bring something along
yeah.
that everybody can eat.
Mhm,
I mean, there's so many delicious vegan foods available anyway. So
mhm.
now, as far as preparations for Miss USA, when do you leave?
November 1st.
Are you excited?
Yes, I'm so excited. I have my interview on Zoom on Wednesday.
Ooh,
Yeah.
wonderful, wonderful. Now, how are you? I mean, I saw you have some of those beautiful Instagram shots, like photos. And
Oh,
I
thank
saw
you.
let me see, let me check your Instagram. I saw the jacket that you were wearing, and this is like, I'm a vegan rebel or something.
Oh,
I,
yes.
I love that. Where did you get that, by the way? I want to order one.
So that's it's a brand called Vegan Club, and forget, I think his name is LeFou. Oh, I
Yeah.
love that jacket. I actually met him. His name is LeFou, the guy who designs everything. I met him last year at SoCal Veg Fest. And
Okay.
he's so sweet. He does the paintings that say Vegan Rebel, and it has, Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker. It has Billie Eilish,
Ah,
really, really talented artist. And he makes that jacket that says Vegan Rebel. And I DM'd him and I was like, any way that you can customize this for me, please.
yeah.
He did. So
Now,
yeah,
did you ever have issues with weight though before you became a vegan or vegetarian? So
no.
you've always been thin.
Hmm.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
But your skin is okay. This is one of my favorite shots, pictures of you.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, your eyes just literally popped out. Yeah,
Thank
this
you.
is amazing photo. And if you don't make the top 15, I'm going to kill the Miss Universe organization. I swear to God, girl, you need to have a vegan in the top 15. Okay, so
I'll tell
now,
them you said
yeah,
that.
tell us about your skincare regimen, your beauty regimen. Do you have any like beauty secrets that you want to share?
Well, so actually, the first big step that even introduced me into veganism and non-dairy was because of my skin.
Mhm.
I One day I turned 16 and I had clear skin, and then I didn't, and it just never went away. Like I can search for a photo and send it to you, because I had horrendous skin that would just not clear up. I did every kind of prescription you could imagine except Accutane, because I was just really scared. you know, I went into my dermatologist at like 16, and you know, they talk about if you get pregnant, like you're required to have an abortion because it's so detrimental to the fetus, this whole thing. And I was like 16, 17, and I was like, that's terrifying. And so I had severe acne for about 10 years. And then when I was 24, I think, oh no, I'm sorry, backtrack. So I had really bad skin, and what I had looked up online said to cut out dairy, and that would really, really help. And so I started to, and that's why I first eliminated dairy. But it didn't help me at all. My skin was still terrible. And so I eventually went to my dermatologist, and he looked at me and was like, you have to do Accutane. Just do it. Just do Accutane, and you'll thank me later. And thank goodness I listened to him, because it was literally the miracle for my skin. You know, I have a lot of makeup on right now, but it was a huge game changer. So if, you know, going into your dermatologist is the biggest thing, because I did every gut cleanse, I did every antibiotic, everything possible. That was the only thing that really did it for me. Like if I have any skin tips to give, I would say my biggest one is to never touch makeup wipes ever. Because not only, so they pull your skin. If you take a makeup wipe and you go like this, it pulls your skin, it pulls your lashes, it pulls everything. So it does the opposite of stimulates. It pushes away your collagen. But then not only that, makeup wipes are really bad for the environment. They don't break down. Even if they say they're compostable, compostable means nothing unless you have a compost bin.
Right.
So it's single-use trash every single day. So get a good cleansing balm and a muslin cloth and just use that every day.
Wow. So in other words, dairy did not have anything to do with your skin problems at all. It's funny. I think it really depends on the individual, because I know, have you heard of actor Woody Harrelson?
Yeah.
In the old Cheers. He's vegan now. But before he became vegan, he suffered tremendous acne problem in his skin. So his doctor told him, listen, are you allergic to something? And he said, well, I guess cheese, ice cream, anything that has dairy. And the doctor told him, stop taking any dairy products. And like 3 months later, his skin just started to clear up. And
wow,
it's amazing. And he's like in his mid-50s, and he looks like he's like 35.
Yeah.
Because, he stays away from the sun. He works out regularly. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't drink and whatnot. He really takes good care of his body. So yeah. So it really depends on the person. Now, so what do you think though is the most difficult aspect of being a vegan?
Traveling.
Traveling.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
It's really hard, and when you're in airports and there's no restaurants, you're just eating like Cliff Bars and Go Macro bars and anything you can get your hands on. And when I traveled internationally and had a really hard time in airports, there was a couple days where I was barely eating anything.
Oh my God. Well, you can of course have a bottle of water, but it's not sufficient, because you need all the nutrients anyway, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Now,
like, we have water.
No, I know California, you'll never run out a vegetarian restaurant. I think in every city or town in California, especially where there are a lot of college students, you will always find, vegan places. Montana is a different state. It's a different thing. Are there any good vegan places there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there?
Yeah, so I live in Missoula, and there is a vegan option just about everywhere you go, and a very good vegan option. There's this donut place called Vera Donuts, totally vegan. They have breakfast sandwiches. They have like these vegan Pop-Tarts. I don't know, if you ever find yourself in Missoula, Vera Donuts is where it's at, and they're like decadent gourmet donuts.
Okay, well, I might consider going to Missoula one of these days.
You
Now,
should.
does the state Missoula have any, like, let's say, is Missoula the biggest city in Montana, or Helena?
Yeah, Missoula or Bozeman.
Okay, Bozeman. Bozeman is a college town, right? They have Montana State University. Yeah.
Both are, yeah. So Montana University is Bozeman, University of Montana is Missoula, and they have a little rivalry.
Oh, okay. Now, do they have like some sort of like vegetarian festivals like once in a while? Like, I know in Massachusetts where I live, Boston, we have the Boston Vegetarian Festival that takes place every year, actually October this
Cool.
month, but they're doing it virtually this year. But yeah, so I was wondering maybe Montana has any vegetarian, or maybe you can start one if you want.
Yeah, that would be cool. There's not that I know of. There are farmers markets that really only have vegetables.
Mhm.
Like if you ever need beets, go to a Missoula farmers market. It is uncanny the amount of beets that are there. There's really not. The majority of things that happen there are like beer festivals, beer gardens. There's a lot of that, but they're actually very, very, very into climate activism. Like am shocked by the amount of climate activism that happens there. We had this event called the Big Climate Change Event, and they brought in a climatologist from the University of Utah, and he had his top 3 things to not have a climate crisis within 10 years. And one of them was to be vegan. And I was so impressed because a lot of people don't talk about that. Like that's just kind of barely coming on the forefront. And I actually found him afterwards and I was like, I am so thankful and appreciative that you felt confident to come to Montana and talk to thousands of people and put that in there.
Mhm. Yeah, I know. I think. Well, when you said earlier, it does take some time for a person to transition into something better. In this case, being vegan and whatnot. But I think, I mean, for me, the hardest being vegan is it's more like psychological, not so much just intellectual, because I know, okay, in my mind, okay, if you eat meat, ergo the animal eventually is suffering, or the fact that you're eating meat, more animals will die because of your appetite, because of your palate. So that, from an intellectual perspective, I understand, but it's more like psychological, because sometimes I wonder, oh my God, what happens if you've heard of maybe this hypothesis. Okay, well, if everybody, if the whole world turned vegan, what are we going to do with all these cows? They're going to be multiplying like rabbit, and eventually they're going to dominate and control the whole world if nobody kills them.
You know what? The day that a cow takes over, I'll be like, all right, that's it. I'm done. That's life. Yeah, when people give arguments, I have had that argument so many times that I just say, well, we have to understand that this will never be an overnight switch. Like we just have to look at it logically. So it's going to be an issue of supply and demand. So the less in demand there, which we're already seeing within the whole animal agriculture industry, when you walk into the grocery store, you now see, Beyond Meat, Impossible Meat, they're coming over. And then if you look at the milk section, half of it is soy, oat, hemp,
Almond.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the supply and demand issue where we're going to just see it progressively change over time. And you know what? Honestly, I don't think that there will ever be a day where we see the 100% eradication of the use of farm animals. I just don't. I don't know that will happen, at least in my lifetime.
Yeah.
So there will be a small amount, but it won't be anywhere near what it is now if we just have that supply and demand kick in.
What is your opinion on fake meats, like alternative meats? I mean, do you consume them? Do you eat them?
If I go to a restaurant and the only option is a Beyond Burger, sure, okay. I've never bought a Beyond Burger for myself. I don't buy the fake meats. I predominantly go towards I like seitan and tempeh and like smoky tofu.
Okay.
Those are the things that I have at home. I think it's great. I think the fact that you can go to a Burger King and get a vegan option is astounding and phenomenal. So I'm in full support of it. But I do think that we as a society are very, very unhealthy, because at the end of the day, an Impossible Burger from Burger King is not good for you. So
Well, okay, that's true. Because it's processed. It's not natural. It's not fresh. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. High in sodium. And so I do hope that we can start having access to healthy foods in all communities, not just privileged, predominantly white communities that have access to these healthy foods, where you can be in a lower income community and have access to healthy vegetables. So I love it. I think Impossible and Beyond are phenomenal, but I do think that we need to move towards a society where fresh fruits and vegetables are available in every single area, every single what's the word I'm looking for? Neighborhood.
Well, the 18th century French philosopher Voltaire once said that we have to cultivate our own garden.
Mm,
And you can interpret that, in a philosophical matter, or it could be literal.
mm,
I really believe that every neighborhood, it doesn't matter where you live, urban or rural, every neighborhood should have their own community garden where
yes.
where
Mhm.
people can literally like plant their own food, raise their own food, and then celebrate eating them with other people in the community. But I think that's one thing that we need to encourage American children, American kids, because
Mhm.
I mean the obesity issue problem in America, it's not getting any better. It's just gotten so worse. And we can blame, I guess, all these big, humongous companies for actually promoting or poisoning the minds of young kids into thinking that, oh, sugar is good for you. Oh, Coca-Cola is good for you. Oh, this candy bar is good for you. Yeah, eat, 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 eat. And then you become fat. So, and
Yeah.
well, when you're 17, 18, you die of a heart attack or diabetes. So, that's why it's so important to educate, our young kids. Now,
Mhm.
so you're going to Miss USA in Memphis. The coronation is actually, the pageant is actually what, 6 days after the US presidential elections. I was debating of going to Memphis,
Uh-huh.
but with the current political situation in our country, I cannot imagine Memphis being peaceful 6 days after the election, especially if Donald Trump gets reelected. So that's my biggest fear. So should that happen, I mean, knock on wood, heaven forbid, should that happen in Memphis, how
Uh-huh.
do you deal with that crisis with us? Let's say all these rioters and protesters are outside the Graceland mansion protesting Miss USA, okay, or anything for that matter. How are you gonna like deal with it?
That's a great question. As far as like the actual literal response to that, I'm gonna hope that they'll have security and we'll be okay. Like, I hope that we'll be good.
Or
Um,
carry and conceal?
can you imagine?
Kidding.
Something really big that they're doing this year is there's a really big emphasis on voting and the right to vote and people having an opinion, which I love and I'm actually so thankful for because I'm a very opinionated person. So I'm really thankful that they're giving us the opportunity to use our voice and have an opinion. Hang on one second. Turn it. I see a car that says water and power outside.
Uh-oh.
You might want to, I think it's that truck right there. Just having a power issue and
Oh.
yeah, they're like looking for
We
it.
all need power.
Yeah, that's why it's dark in here. I don't have power right now. um, what was I?
So,
So I think it will be really great to be able to be in a place with so many people from so many different backgrounds because so many of us kind of live in our bubble of confirmation bias. And so we'll be in an area that has 102 girls and we'll all have very different views. And they're going to allow us to talk about it and, talk about our differences, but at the same time, our similarities and be able to have that back and forth discussion. And so I'm actually really excited. I think it'll be really cool to be able to hear exactly what we think, what we have to say. And, who knows if because of the mail-in ballots, if we'll actually have the results when we're there,
ooh, that's
for the presidential part. Yeah.
yeah. Because I know in some states they do allow at least a week or so.
Mhm.
They give them like enough, like a week more time to actually count the mail-in ballots.
Mhm.
Personally, I don't think that's a good idea because I really want to know the results on the night of November 3rd, you know what I mean? Or in the
Yeah.
morning of November 4th. So, now, how are you dealing with a pandemic? How do you deal with people who are not confused, but who have different opinions about the virus or about masks or not wearing masks, etc.? How do you like create a certain balance between those two arguments?
I get why people don't want to wear the mask. They're uncomfortable, they're annoying. Like, I understand, and it's been so long. But for me, when it's a matter of keeping our community safe, I will put a mask on. Like, I don't need to go to Target so badly that I like can't wear a mask. That's the thing, is like, we have to acknowledge that these are private businesses, you know, the grocery store, Target, Walmart, Costco, and the people who are working there are literally sacrificing their life to be there to serve us. So like, the least that we can do when we're going into private businesses is to put on a mask.
Mhm.
In Montana, we had the lowest numbers initially. Like, if you look at the chart, we were low, you know, maybe 5, 6, 7 people in my county.
Mhm.
And then 4th of July, it just went whoop, way up because they opened the national parks.
Okay.
And there's actually a really big spike again right now. And so, you know, life kind of resumed like in a normal way. I would go to the grocery store and there wouldn't be a line. Like, yes, we'd have masks on, but there wouldn't be a line. Like, you could get your stuff. There was no food shortage or toilet paper shortage. Like, things were fine. So I didn't see the way that I see it. I've been in LA for like 2-ish weeks now visiting my sister, and I go to the grocery store and there's a line out the door. And I'm like, what is this? What's going on?
Interesting.
um,
No,
yeah.
I was grocery shopping in my town yesterday, actually, and I was so delighted to have not seen the one-way markers on the floor on the ground. They
Uh-huh.
finally removed them, and I said to myself, "Oh my God, is this a sign that we're going back to normalcy?" You know, I mean,
Yeah.
we know we still have to wear a mask and everything, and oh, they also got rid of the 6 feet distance rule. I don't see any more like these markers here on the floor,
Uh-huh.
and like this is very encouraging. And of course, you know, the president having recovered from COVID and whatnot, and then you know, drug companies are aggressively, you know, finding the vaccine.
Mhm.
I feel very optimistic. I think the vaccine will be available probably early January. Yeah, I
Can I
think.
ask you a question? If they in January had a vaccine, would you take it?
Mandatory. If they're mandating everybody to take the vaccine, I will say no, because I think we all have choices. I know not everybody can take the vaccine anyway, because it could trigger some allergic reaction or anything, or it could be bad. I took the flu shot. I take the flu shot every October. So would you take it?
Uh, sorry. My dog is crying, and so he wants to say
Oh,
hello.
I have a dog. I have a dog that she's taking a nap. Oh, there's a cutie dog. What is it?
His name is Kate to Sneak.
Hi. Oh my God. How old is he?
He is 10. He was from the town, so they're not sure, but I think he's 10.
Oh my God. What breed? Is it like a
They He's some type of poodle, but the people in the pound literally found him running around the street, and so we don't know anything about him.
oh
No.
this is Willow. She's like a half.
Willow.
Yeah, she's also a rescue dog. Hi.
Oh, she's so cute.
She's an attention whore. See, she likes to be cuddled and kissed.
That's love.
Look at
Oh.
Miss Montana, USA, right there. That's
Oh.
Marissa right there. Hi, Marissa. Anyway, oh my God. So yeah, so going back to the question of mandatory vaccine, I'm totally against it. Okay, we live in a free country, or at least we're supposed to live in a free country, where there's a lot of different choices and whatnot. And yeah, so like, see, this is one thing that bothers me too, is that whether or not you know, should uh, Joe Biden wins the elections, is he going to force every American to wear the mask? That's what one of my main concerns, because not everybody can wear masks because of respiratory ailments. There are a lot of people who are asthmatic or suffering from respiratory illnesses, so you can't force everyone. And I know in New York City, Mayor Bill de Blasio is now authorizing the arrest of people who refuse to wear a mask, especially in small gatherings. So aren't you scared? I mean, shouldn't we be scared of that though? Because we're leaning towards a more authoritarian society or police state. What do you think?
I think that in situations like this, when we're in a global pandemic, global crisis, there are some freedoms that I would hope that, look, if it's a medical thing, I understand that. If it's just a matter of like, I don't want to wear a mask, then in my opinion, you can't be around other people unless unless they're saying, yes, I'm comfortable being around you. But I don't think that it's right for somebody to go to Target or to Sephora and not wear a mask and say, oh, it's my freedom, it's my right. Because at this point, it's been almost a year, and so many of us it's crippling so many other parts of our lives where it's like we just need people to come together and go towards the way of protecting everybody as much as possible. And like, I get why people are upset. I hate them. So I worked at the YMCA all summer. And so we were outside. I had to wear a mask constantly. And I had all these kids that I was taking care of. And it's really hard to communicate with kids without facial expressions. And so I would just be like trying to yell, to get all these kids back. We'd be at the playground. And I'd be like, Johnny, come back. And I'd have to like pull it up so he could hear me yelling. But I did it. We all have to make these sacrifices in order to help other people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Who's that?
There's a produce truck outside.
So, in the state of Massachusetts, there's always this debate about whether or not schools should open. Mm-hmm. And it really depends on the district or the community where you live. I know in my town, which is a rural town, a lot of parents do not like the idea of hybrid type of learning. They prefer to have their children physically attend schools and just take the risks because they think it's much better to learn in person rather than remote learning. Now, what is your opinion about hybrid learning or a combination of both, like remote and actual physical?
I would love to talk to a teacher who's doing both. My mom is actually a virtual special education instructor. So she always has been virtual. And so her perspective is a little different because she's like, I've been doing this, for years. So, but she understands the difference in the ability to communicate. Like for me, I'm an in-person person and I don't love technology. Like I cannot wait to be in a room of people and talk to people and, see them face to face and everything. I would think with school, like in Missoula, they're doing an every other day situation by your last name. So people come Monday and Thursday and then Wednesday and Friday. And they're separating kids so that they're able to sit far enough apart and they wear masks. In my opinion, I think that is a great solution, doing the best with what they can in the situation. But I think that it would be really important to talk to a teacher in that situation and see what protocols they are taking. Because I know there's also a lot of people are taking temperatures and they think that that's foolproof. But one of my best friends got COVID and had no fever. So, and the only symptom that she had was her loss of taste.
Right.
So how are we able to see who has it when the symptoms are just so different?
Do you trust everything that CDC says or reports on their website?
I want to say yes. I'm not really that big of a conspiracy theorist. Like I want to believe the best. Yeah. So, when the scientists who are in charge and are at the highest position of power within like the scientific community, I want to believe them. So, I'm taking the protocols and not going to gatherings and, opting out of, Halloween parties and things that are happening because I'm like, it's just not, to me, it's not worth it right now.
Right. Yeah. Well, I agree. And also, it's also the fact that so many pageants have been canceled this year. They've been postponed until next year. But then again, there's still so many things we don't know about the virus. Who knows? Maybe it could mutate to different forms, and maybe we'll have another year of cancellation or whatnot. I mean, who knows? But I think that's one thing that's the most challenging aspect, at least for me, as a person, is because life is all about risks or taking risks. So I don't want to spend another year in a lockdown situation. I don't want to spend another year learning new things remotely in front of my computer. I'd rather go out. I'd rather go out without a mask, breathe fresh air, say hello to the birds in the sky and all the rabbits on the ground and whatnot, and then just talk to people who trust me or we trust each other. hi friend, can I hug you? Because I miss hugging you. You know, I
Yeah.
can't virtually hug you because I don't believe in virtual hugging. I don't believe in virtual kisses either. Can I give you a kiss on the cheek? Because I miss you. You know, stuff like that are so important. So the question is, are you willing to take a risk of of uh, of saying hello, of hugging, touching your best friend or whatever,
Mhm.
or just stay home and just do virtual hugging and virtual kissing for another year? It's just like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I would not. I would have a very, very hard time. I'm already having a really hard time because I love like music festivals and I DJ and like I love being with people, especially it's so important like for art and artistic expression. So I cannot wait for that to come back. If it was another year, I would have a very, very, very hard time. So I'm really hoping that that's not it. But at this point, I watch the news and I really like to watch both sides. I like to watch far right, far left, and then whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and nobody seems to have any kind of answers.
Well,
You
not
know,
only that, but even the the medical and the science professionals, they don't even agree with each other.
yeah.
Some doctors say, oh, well, we'll have the vaccine by January. And no, we'll have to wait for another 6 months. And then, oh, yeah, wearing masks will just worsen everything. So get rid of the mask. It doesn't work 85% of the time. And CDC the other day published that 85% of the people affected by the virus actually were wearing masks. So you wonder,
Oh,
really? Okay. Okay.
don't tell me that. No, now I know nothing.
And you know what? And you know what? Because I've been like in the last 3-4 months, I've attended like political gatherings in my state, not
Mhm,
wearing a mask because we're all outside. I'm
mhm.
healthy. I don't have COVID, you know. I mean, I'm healthy as a horse. So you wonder, does it only affect certain people? And you wonder, you know what, Rafa, maybe it's your immunity system. It's all about the immune system. Nobody ever talks about the immune system. So I wonder, maybe because of the fact that I'm vegan, I'm taking my zinc every day. I'm taking my turmeric every day, my vitamin D, my my selenium, my magnesium. I wonder, and also my blood type. I think my blood type is O, I believe. So certain blood types are immune to COVID and other viruses. You know
Oh
what?
wow.
Yeah, that's one thing that I'd like to research more, because sometimes with the blood type, but nobody ever talks about the importance of fortifying your immune system.
Yeah.
Now, so you're going to Miss USA. Has the Miss Universe organization uh, given you any instructions or any idea how the setup of the stage is going to be like? Are they going to be observing social distancing? That's going to be very hard.
It's gonna be hard. Yeah, we don't really know anything. We know when we arrive, and that's about it. We know when we arrive and when we leave,
Got
and
to
the
wear
day.
masks, right?
Yep, we have to wear masks, and I'm having one of my friends' mom make me custom masks that say Montana on them.
Okay, that's neat. That's
Yeah.
neat.
So yeah, we really don't know anything.
Yeah. Now, have you chosen your gown?
Oh yeah, we did that. We went to Sherry Hill in January.
Okay, all right.
And so I've had a couple fittings. I had one again yesterday, so it's not done. It's not completely ready yet. I'm doing some alterations, but it will be very soon.
Can you give us any hint what type it's going to be, or the color, maybe at least the color? No, not even.
I
Surprise.
will I will say that if you know me well, you can easily guess what color it would be because it represents something.
I think I know what it is. Okay, I'll keep it to myself. Now, how many suitcases are you going to be taking along with you?
I'm a very like organized and early person, and so I'm already packed. And I have 3 suitcases so far. So there's a couple things else that need to go in, but I think I'll be able to keep it at 3 checked bags and then 1 carry-on.
Because you won't be in Memphis for how many? Just a week, right? Not too long.
9 days technically.
9 days. Okay, and then also Miss Teen USA will be held like 2 days before, I believe.
Yeah, I
Or
think it's on the 7th. Hmm.
so that's nice. You get to see all the teens too.
Yeah,
That's wonderful. Have you been to Memphis?
I haven't. No, I've never been to Tennessee.
Oh, okay. I heard it's a nice state. It's
Uh-huh.
I've never been to I've never been to Tennessee, but I always wanted to go to Nashville. So I really don't
Oh,
know how far Nashville is from Memphis. But Memphis I've heard of because of Elvis Presley and Graceland and whatnot. So that's
Mhm.
wonderful. Now, are you girls supposed to bring like something to auction off, like a gift or something, like for fundraising?
Oh, not that I have heard.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you know who's going to be your roommate?
So funny story. I was supposed to be the person alone. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
Damn.
So no, I'd had a roommate picked out. We agreed to be roommates, and then her director wanted her to stay with her own sister queen, like within
Like what?
their
There.
director group.
Mhm.
And then at that point, everybody else that I had known had already selected their roommate. So I was like, I'm fine being alone because I'm actually more introverted. So I like spending time by myself, especially after really high stimulating things.
Right.
So I think I'm alone.
Well, in that case, you can do some yoga, you can do some meditation and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can take like Instagram shots in your bathroom.
Be like, this is all mine, mess.
Well, have you done any research as far as vegan restaurants in Memphis are concerned? Are there any vegan places where you can go? Or oh, that's one thing too. You need to demand the missionaries organization for good vegan dishes just for you.
Well, so they sent us out a diet restriction thing, and there was vegan on it. I'm sure that after talking to me so many times, they know. Also, Missouri is vegan and Arizona is vegan,
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh,
I
that's
believe.
wonderful. That's
Uh-huh.
amazing.
And
Wow.
there might be a few others, and there might be some vegetarians.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, there's a few of us out there.
Yeah, I would like to know who the heaviest meat eater is. Maybe
Oh,
you gals can reach out to her or to them.
we can bring her on and have a little debate. Be like,
I know, right? I know, right? So as far as preparation goes, I think you look physically fit. You're physically fit. You're ready to go. There's no problem. You're mentally prepared. That I know. What about psychologically? Are you psychologically prepared? How would you react if you didn't make the top 15?
to be honest with you, Montana is the least successful state in Miss USA history. We have
I
not
know,
placed.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't placed since 1958, I believe. But every year there's always, like, for instance, last year, Arizona, I had her as a winner or in my top three. Savannah Wicks,
Yeah.
thought she was amazing, and
It's
she didn't
amazing. Yeah.
place. So to me, it's not really a reflection of who you are individually, just as like, okay, it wasn't your day. So yeah, of course I will be disappointed, but knowing that a lot of greats have not placed, that it's okay. I'm going there to do the best that I can do, and I'm going to talk about animal rights and climate change and have fun and do the best, for myself.
Well,
So
even if you don't make it, you can always strive for a different pageant system like Miss Earth USA that really focuses on environment and animal welfare. So that's a possibility right there,
yeah,
So
I've had a lot of people message me and be like, you are Miss Earth, what are you doing? Like, go to Miss Earth right now. And I'm like, okay, well, let me be
so,
Miss Montana first.
so do you now feel that you're an authentic representative of Montana, even though you didn't grow up there?
Yeah, I do. I spent however long that I was there, I quarantined there. I, went to every climate event that was there, and really a part of the vegan community. And so I do. I feel very, very at peace with everything that's happened. I understand people are angry. They don't like girls who come from different states. There's a little bit of a history in Montana of that happening. And,
They call them state hoppers.
state hoppers. Yeah.
Mhm.
But this year, there's 12 of us
State
who,
hoppers, crown
mhm,
chasers.
mhm. And you know what? To me, if you have a goal and you follow the rules,
Exactly.
good, good. Like, we all followed the rules. We did what was necessary, and our directors supported us and asked for proof, and we did it. It was very,
Yeah.
we followed all the rules. So
That's what counts. Yeah,
yeah,
that's what counts. And even though you've only lived like 6 months in a different state, I mean, you have all the time in the world because of the lockdown to study and research about the state and whatnot. And then there you go. You can be a perfect representative of that state. I'm hungry, Marissa. Would you like some lemon cookie?
it's so funny because Blair made it look like there was nothing there, and I was like, "Are you offering me an empty plate?"
Well, you're very thin, so you need some food. You need some food, man. Now, what is your favorite dessert?
My favorite dessert. Ooh, I'm a really big ice cream person. You know that the vegan Haagen-Dazs that came out at Target, the dark chocolate salted truffle.
Mm-hmm.
Game over. So good.
Me too. I love Haagen-Dazs. And I
Mhm.
think, Ben and Jerry's. They
Yeah.
have 4 vegan flavors right now.
I think they might have 6. I think they added a couple.
They added a couple more. Oh my God.
There's okay, if you like salty and sweet stuff combined, they have a cookie dough flavor. And if you get Pringles and crunch up the Pringles in it, the best dessert.
Really? Ooh, I better go to the supermarket after
Yeah.
this interview and get one for
And you know,
myself.
this is bad because I actually have such a sweet tooth. I'm a chocoholic, but I've been really good the last couple weeks. I haven't had any full desserts, and so now I need to get it out of my system because all I want is that Haagen-Dazs now.
Okay. If you don't have Haagen-Dazs available, okay, what I do if I have this craving for something sweet and chocolatey, I buy a bag of frozen cherries. Okay, I scoop like a cup, put it in my blender, and then I add 1 teaspoon of Hershey's cocoa powder, almond
Oh,
milk, almond
uh-huh.
milk, and then you just squeeze with it, and then oh my God, it's like it has the texture of like sherbet. Oh, yeah, sorbet, but it's
Whoa.
so delicious, so out of this world, and that really fulfills my sweet tooth.
Oh my,
Try
okay, can
it.
you message me that? Because I'm gonna do
Of
that today.
course, of course. Also, I don't know, do you like chocolat mousse? You can do a vegan version of chocolat mousse.
Yeah. You know, every time I've had that, people have always made it with avocado, and that I can't get on board with.
Oh, you don't like avocado?
I love avocado as avocado,
Okay,
not
but
chocolate
not,
avocado. Is
uh,
that how you make it with avocado?
okay, I make it with avocado because I love avocado.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it has good fat anyway, so yeah. So what is your, for breakfast, what is your typical breakfast like? What do you usually take? When you,
Every day.
you drink
I will
coffee?
usually have. Oh wait, say that again.
You drink coffee? Are you a
Oh,
coffee drinker?
I'm caffeine intolerant,
Are you
so
kidding
it
me?
makes me sick.
I'm gonna slap you.
So I have never had an entire cup of coffee, I think, in my whole life. I can tell you the last time I had any caffeine was in 2000, and I want to say 16. And I accidentally got locked out of my house, and I was waiting for my boyfriend at the time to come home and open the door. And so I was like, I'll walk to Starbucks. And I got a grande matcha green tea, and it made me so sick. I had the most severe migraine, and I was like, I can't believe I let myself do that. And
Yeah,
I was sick, standing outside waiting for him to open the door.
what's really? But does it? You mean all types of coffee? Doesn't matter what brand?
Nope.
Interesting. What about tea? Are you tea
I
intolerant?
can't I can't have tea that has caffeine, but I can have, chamomile or licorice root tea, things like that. But I can't anything that gives energy or has caffeine of any kind in it, can't do it. But like I'm happy because I wake up and I have tons of energy, and I like to focus on eating really well. Like I make a really big power smoothie, and I always have Ezekiel bread with avocado and
Oh my God,
tempeh.
I love Ezekiel bread. It's awesome. Yeah, I love. What about peanut butter? You like peanut butter?
Um, I actually eat sun butter because peanut is so high on the allergen list that I opt for sun butter.
Okay, I like almond butter myself, and yeah, I love almond butter. Yeah,
I love almond butter too. Yeah.
yeah. So okay, so how many like glasses of water do you drink like a day? I mean, experts recommend like you have to have like 6 to 8 glasses of water a day. You know what, girl? It's not real. I can't. I'm gonna drown in water. I want to drown in water. I can only tolerate like 2 glasses. That's it.
You it's funny, we have so much in common and yet we're so opposite in so many ways. My water bottle is back in the back room, but I have this giant water bottle that I think is 32 ounces of water, and
Yeah.
I drink about 6 of those a day. 6
Really?
huge. Yeah. My grandma nicknamed me the water baby when I was a kid because I don't drink soda, don't drink anything other than water.
Really? Well, what about almond milk, soy milk, and all?
I mean, sometimes, but like I'll have that in my smoothie, but you'll never see me just sit down with a glass of soy milk.
Oh,
It's
okay.
always water. Yeah.
Okay.
It's either water or water with like a drop of peppermint oil or lavender oil or tea at night.
Oh, okay. So how many hours of sleep do you usually have? Like to be fully energetic the next day?
Usually like 7.5. I need to sleep.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not somebody who can do 5 hours and be fine. Like, nope.
But you know what? Should you win Miss USA 2020, you're going to be sleeping less.
I know. I've been thinking about that. I was like, I need to get my sleep situation figured out because
Yeah,
I love to sleep. But I think that there'll be that adrenaline and that excitement where you're like, I think I'm good because I miss USA. Like I'll deal with 5 hours of sleep.
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can survive, but just like 5.5 hours. That's it.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I mean, less than that, I start feeling like a zombie, or like I feel very, very erratic and stuff and everything.
Do you feel good at 5.5 hours?
Somewhat, but then again, I take a nap like for a couple of hours. If I feel really like tired and sleepy, I
Okay.
take a nap for a couple of hours. Yeah, yeah.
See,
And
I
after
can't
that,
nap.
yeah. So what time do you usually have your lunch? Like whenever you're hungry, or is
Well,
it?
so I've been doing a little bit of like the intermittent fasting. And so I've been eating a really good breakfast within 30 minutes of me waking up. And
Mhm.
then I'll eat a really big meal at like 3 o'clock. And
Okay.
then I won't eat dinner. So I'll have something really big kind of in the middle to late afternoon. And then I'll stop eating anything by like 6
Yeah.
so that I have that break between 6 p.m. and 7:30 or 8 a.m.
Mhm.
And I've noticed that my body feels really good. Like I wake up and I feel good and I have a lot of energy and I don't have such intense sugar cravings. So I'm really happy with how it's been right now.
Do you use a lot of toilet paper?
I just bought a bidet. It's so funny that you asked that.
Are you talking about a portable bidet?
No, I have one that connects to my toilet.
Oh, girl, no. If you travel, I recommend this portable bidet right
Oh,
there.
I thought you were gonna have it with you. Like,
Get two
oh,
of them.
okay,
Yeah, get two of them. They're amazing. You can get them from Amazon. You know?
okay.
Yeah, you fill them up with water and you just squeeze, put it under your butt, and then just squeeze it, and you'll never feel clean in your life. I mean,
Wow.
forget toilet paper. I mean, fine, you can use like a little toilet paper to dry off your butt, but you know
Mhm.
what? This is amazing. This is totally
Wow.
amazing. Yeah, uh, it's called Portable Bidet. It sells for $15.88 at Amazon. So get two of them. Travel, and maybe maybe bring 51 for
Great.
each of, bring 50 for all your fellow contestants.
Like, guess what, ladies? We're getting rid of toilet paper. Here you go.
Save, yeah, save trees for Pete's sake. You know, use this bottle instead.
Yeah.
Listen, I had a wonderful time like chatting with you,
Me
and
too.
I think you're just incredibly amazing and warm and just beautiful inside and out. To me, anybody who loves animals automatically is a wonderful, kind, generous, big-hearted person. So I really admire you for all your efforts as far as educating the public about veganism and animal welfare and whatnot. And of course, I'm going to put you in my top 15. Don't worry about it.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I can't wait. And tell us about the details of the pageant to our viewers.
So it will be on FYI Network on November 9th at, I want to say, what time zone is Memphis in?
Oh, I think it's I'm
Central?
guessing Central. I'm guessing
Okay.
Central. Yeah, yeah, Central. So
Okay.
it's probably like
I'm,
what, 8 o'clock Central, but 9 o'clock East Coast. Yeah,
yes. And then that would make it 6 for West Coast.
for the West Coast. Yeah,
Yes. Time zones are hard for me.
I've never even heard of FYI. What the hell is FYI? How can I get FYI? Is it like something you subscribe, a channel you just have to subscribe to?
So it's near like the HGTV section
Okay.
of the channels. And my friend said to me the other day, she thinks that it was ABC Family. So it's in that area. I'm not 100% sure, but she's like, I think that that's what happened, and the channel bought the other one. I believe that you also, if you, your mom, your uncle, your grandma, your friend has a TV login, you know, a lot of people still have cable, but a lot of people don't.
Right.
So if you borrow somebody's login, I believe you can go straight to the FYI network website or A&E website.
Okay.
Because it's an A&E channel. And then you log on and you can see it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, anyway, I can't wait to see it. I mean, I never miss Miss USA. I know it's going to be very different this year because I have a feeling it's going to be very political. But you know what? That's what makes the whole show unpredictable, and
Yeah.
they're exciting to watch. So I just hope to God the pandemic will be over before the year ends, because I want to be celebrating Christmas in a normal way. You know what I mean? Like even
Yeah.
Thanksgiving in a normal way, you know? So we're all crossing our fingers. Listen, darling, it was such a pleasure to have met you virtually.
Virtually, yeah, right? Do you want a virtual hug? I know how much you love virtual
Yes! Ooh, virtual hug, virtual hug, virtual hug.
hugs.
And I'm gonna finish this lemon cookie.
Oh,
You
geez.
better eat. Have you even had lunch already? What time is it there now?
Right now it's 1:09.
Have you had lunch?
So,
Okay, you need to eat lunch.
oh yeah, I will here pretty soon. My sister actually made me a big smoothie, so that's sitting in my
Okay.
room right now.
That should do it. That should do it. So I'm recording this chat. I'm gonna upload it to my YouTube channel, and once it's ready, I'm gonna give you the link so you can watch it. And that's
Okay.
all everybody can watch it and whatnot. I'm also gonna include the links to your social media accounts, your Instagram, Facebook. Do you have a Twitter account as well?
I don't actually. I'm a really, really bad millennial, and I
You know what?
just
It's not even important because Twitter is going away anyway. You know, who cares about
that's what I was like. Do people still use Twitter and
Twitter?
Snapchat and
Twitter is run by communists now, so who cares about Twitter? So yeah, so Instagram and Facebook, yeah, and YouTube. That's all I use. Yeah. So have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful time in Memphis, Tennessee, and I will see you on TV.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Take care, honey. Bye.
Oh, it